Hey guys, welcome back. Grim Reaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully doing well and hopefully looking after yourselves. We just had absolute massive news dropped in Raidshadowlegends that no one was expecting. No one was warned that this was coming. There has been some news in game. There is a rumor. Well, it's rumor. It's definitely true, right? We have got 2 new champions added to Raidshadowlegends today. Well, 3 if you count the fusion. The fusion go live. I won't do a fusion prep or anything like that, but you'll find plenty. I recommend watching Probably Nubs for that. We've got 2 new champions go live in Raidshadowlegends right now, and I want to go over their kits and give you my personal thoughts. Now, first of all, this Grim Reaper logo avatar, whatever you want to call it, on the second side. Looking forward to that. It's absolutely amazing. And that looks like it's going to go very, very nicely. Obviously, a 5-star soul going as well for basically just doing your dailies, etc. Pretty easy, pretty average as well, and a free primal shard as well. Definitely a collab. It'll be probably a bit like Monster Hunter, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is a few other champions as well to do. Now, we're going to have a look at this. I don't know the history between the 2 characters, if I'm honest. I don't know anything about these. I think I've heard of He-Man somewhere, but again, I don't really know where it comes from, so I won't try and guess where it is. It's not like the Marvel. I know Marvel pretty well. So it says here, single strike target has a chance to increase the duration of all buffs. That's pretty good for clan boss. Attacks a enemy and has a chance of petrification. That'll be interesting if that's AoE. I haven't looked at the kit yet. Has a chance to steal the target's turn meter buffs. Decreases the enemy buffs turn meter and increases allies' accuracy. Can be quite useful. Increases his own accuracy and has a chance of landing a decreased resistance buff. It's kind of weak, the decreased resistance right now. So let's have a look at his kit. Now, this is going on till Christmas, and then you won't be able to get this. So I guess this is our Christmas login fusion, which is a bit interesting. I'm not too sure actually what faction this new champion is, if I'm honest. So let me try and locate this. Now you can save this for C points, obviously, if you want. There is a way of doing it. I can't remember how to do it, so something to kind of look at. So first of all, the anesthetics looks absolutely cool. He's a Night Rev champion. I suppose he's not undead, but he's a Night Rev champion, and he looks absolute sweet. Probably one of the best ones in the game. His base stats, like his speed, etc., is kind of average or low. He's a support base champion. He'll attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance to increase the duration of a random buff on a target by 1 turn. That is a 100% chance. It's only a single hit. So I guess clan boss will be very useful, like a Vizier, and that's about it, right? Then he'll attack one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a petrification on a target for 1 debuff. If this is a boss, then he'll land a decreased attack and decreased speed instead. And then whenever petrification is removed or expired, the enemy has a chance of putting a decreased speed on them for 1 turn as well. Kind of a bit meh, if I'm honest, like nothing too special about it. So it's a little bit disappointing and a little bit underwhelming from what I'm reading. This can be useful again against clan boss early game, but I think that's about it. There isn't really anywhere where I could think that this would be very useful. Petrification on a single ability, not great. Has to be AoE for me. Places a increased accuracy on all allies for 2 turns, or also has a 75% chance to steal block buffs, debuffs, and 1 random buff from the enemy team. Decreases all turn meter by 15% and also increases the Tartarian League, decreases theirs by 30. Increased accuracy, it's on a 3-turn cooldown. And then whenever this champion is attempts to place a debuff, steals a buff, or decreases a enemy's turn meter, increases the duration of a debuff on an enemy, increasing its own accuracy by 20 each debuff on that enemy. Whenever this champion is hit, has a 40% chance of placing a decreased resistance. Unfortunately, this is very sheep. This was very likely to get him sheeped in the meta arena. And then he has a 60 of all battles. So probably, I'm going to be honest, I think this is probably one of the worst legendaries that they've released. Probably even worse than the Bannerlord one. But it is a bit early. We do need to see what the new clan boss brings in the next couple of weeks, so we know it's going live. This guy could be quite good for that, and also bringing that 5-star brimstone might be quite useful. So it's probably a bit early to kind of be judging him right now to see what new content, but right now I can't think of new content or the content that's existing in the game where he will be usable, right? So that's kind of an interesting one. Let me have a look for the next champion. Next champion is not a free-to-play champion, so I do apologize. So looking at this is the second time they've done a champion pass. Did this last time, and it was quite underwhelming, if I'm honest. The champion was the Bannerlord's, not Bannerlord, was the Barbarian champion. She was pretty good, to be fair. Like, nothing crazy, but she hit hard. She had a very niche jumping in between Sifi. You do see her time to time in Gold 4 Arena, time to time, but it's very rare. You do see her in all tiers. Well, I do anyway, because I push on multiple accounts. I don't know this guy. I've heard of the name once, but that's about it. But it is a collab, and collabs are good for us. So first of all, looking at this, we do have some 6-star lifts, so that's been upgraded, that's been improved. That is good. It wasn't in there last time, I don't think. We got some instinct gear. Instinct is fairly good gear, but it could be merciless or savage or even pinpoint. I think that would be quite useful, but nonetheless, 6-star lifts are always a bonus, and it is a big improvement for last time. We got 2 5-star chickens as well, which for me have no value to me because of how many I've already got, but that's just my opinion. He's a Sacred Order champion as well. So let's go ahead, check out his kit first of all. The graphics, etc., looks very plain, nothing really going on. Again, I don't know his character, so I have no links to it, no biased decision or anything like that, really. Who attacks one enemy, places a extra hit on the enemy if they're from a corrupt. So a bit like a Candy, but Candy does it against everyone who has extra buff on them. So he will do extra hits. So this basically with like a 2-hitter into like a UDK, a Rhodus, which would be fairly good. But again, if Rhodus is there, he won't be that good against Rhodus, right? Because one will go into UDK, one will go into him, and they will set off Rhodus passive. So that's something to kind of think about. Also, this champion fills his turn meter by this champion's turn meter by 10%. Fills their turn meter by additional 2% for each buff on his champion. Good, because that means you're going to bring in like all sorts of buffs, like block buffs, etc., to kind of help him out. Then you attack one enemy before attacking, places increased attack on him for 2 turns. This is huge, right? Being able to land his own increased attack saves you bringing in an arbiter. So this gives you like loads of flexibility with him if he's able to buff himself. For example, you can go Sifi into Armads, bring in a Warlord or like a Necrit, and having that flexibility in the kit, not needing an Arbiter, for example, to do that. So depending on who's your fastest champion or what type of team you build him in, he will ignore Stone Skin buffs. This is amazing. Like Georgie has this ability, and as long as this hits hard, this will do really, really well. It has a 4-turn cooldown, so that's kind of long. His damage is scaling off attack and HP, which is interesting. That's similar to Rhodus. So that's something you kind of want to take into consideration. This attack will also kill an enemy and fills a turn meter of all allies by. So if this kills an enemy, fills a turn meter of all allies by 30%. Turn meter of all allies by 30%. That is huge, right? If it hits hard and you're going to get this ability, that's pretty nice. Honestly, that's pretty nice. Then here, attack all enemies. The damage inflicted by the skill increases by 10% for each buff placed on this champion before the champion's reset. Stacks up to 500% and resets after all the skills are used. So resets when the skill is used. So this damage is inflicted by 10% for each buff placed on them on a champion before this skill is used. Okay. Stacks up to 50%, 500%, and then resets a skill resets after this skill is used. Interesting. So does it reset itself straight away? That'll be interesting to see. But this has potential to hit really hard, right? Like Taurus, for example. Like Taurus has this ability, and if he's got buffs, he's insane damage. So this will be interesting to see. Then he has a passive ability that increases his champion's attack and HP by 5% for each buff placed on his champion, stacks up to 50. places a strengthen buff on its champion for 2 turns as at the start of each round. Also places a strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns whenever an enemy HP drops below 50% after this champion's attack. This champion is immune to petrification. Okay, a bit niche. I guess it kind of is useful against a bias, maybe. Then he has a speed aura in all battles, like a Songwrong at 28, which is amazing because then you can really game into your teams quite easily because it brings you another speed aura. So for me, dependent on this champion's multipliers, this could be a must grab, really, like $40 if you're a low spender or a Kraken. Well, I don't think you need him if you're a Kraken, like for a account like mine. First looking at him, like having Sigford and Dark Smiles, etc., already in that role, I don't feel that he gets into my teams. That could be quite interesting. But yeah, it could be an interesting one for sure. We definitely would need to get a blessing up to a level 4 for him. Hopefully, Plarion will actually release some way of getting a blessing for him. Hopefully, like a path event or something like that, where we can pick up a 4-star, 5-star. I think that add a lot of utility and just like really help out a lot of players. But if you're like low level live arena, I think him and Sungwan actually have amazing synergy, and I think this is a must grab for most people. I definitely think that the people who are low level on my account, so in my takeovers, I would probably encourage them to pick this up if they got a bit of change lying around. But it's one of them ones. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? We definitely do need to see the multipliers before we can make a opinion on him. I will probably pick him up. I've got 8 weeks to pick him up, so I will probably pick him up on the next month or something like that. I won't be in any rush so far to kind of see it. I'll also see pan out how all this will pan out in the next couple of weeks as well. That's it from me today. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you found this video useful, and hopefully you like the rest of the content I'm dropping today. Again, I've been Grim Reaper. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.